Hey everybody, it's BenInBeta here, and I'm here with my friend Luke. Hey Luke.
Hello. Thanks for having me back, Ben.
Yeah, welcome back. As always, you're welcome anytime. And you're here for a specific reason today, though, because we're going to be talking about overland tools and sort of the critical tools you need to kind of build out a sort of minimal kit, at least for overlanding, to make sure you have what you need in case something kind of happens, right, along the way, as things do. Yeah, yeah. So that's what the topic is for today. And for anybody who joins and wants to leave a comment or whatever, please go ahead and do that. We're more than happy to answer any questions you have if you have them. So I'll just leave this banner up here in case people join along the way, and they'll know to leave some comments. One thing I would just plug really quickly before we get too crazy here. Let's do this one here. Actually, let's do this one here. There we go. I like that view. All right. So I would just say, since the last live stream that we did, which was about 2 weeks ago, I've had several videos come out. So I've got the Thor's Lightning air system video of the 4-tire deflation. I'll be doing inflation hopefully soon, and just kind of like in the field test. Then I've also had the likes and dislikes on the Tacoma after a few weeks, the tires and the tire decision, and how the stock versus the AT4W tires perform in the snow. I just did a video on the DIY detail 5 years graphene ceramic coating and all the products that I use to do that, and the whole entire process from end to end. And then also the first dirt video, which was not really rough off-roading, but it was dirt, and it was a climb about 3,000 feet in elevation in just a couple of miles. So I did push the engine a little bit in that case. Got to try out the 4-wheel drive in both high and low. So that was fun, and it did get dirty. And then I got to fly my drone around a little bit, and the dog and I got a little bit of a hike. So I think it was like a win-win-win-win-win situation. So go ahead and check out those videos if you haven't. Remember, like and subscribe to the channel if you are interested in any of the things that we're talking about on these videos, and feel free to join the conversation as well. So I'm just going to pop back here to our view of just the two of us, and just what's been new with you, Luke, since the last time we talked? Anything big happen?
Well, I do have some big plans coming for my vehicle. I'm adding a supercharger, so that'll add me a lot of.
All right. So anyway, today's episode, technical difficulties aside, is all about tools. So if Luke's able to join back again, we will pop into his toolkit. But these are all the things that I've kind of either purchased or basically purchased in the last little bit. But Luke might be back now, so let's see. Still can't hear you.
I'm back. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, there we go. Now I can.
Nothing
all right.
Yet?
No,
all
we're
right.
good. We're good.
I don't know if that was technical difficulties on my end, but I'm back.
Welcome. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Okay, we're back to the tool episode, and Luke was just telling us about a big thing he's planning on his build, which was
a supercharger. A great Facebook Marketplace find. It's a factory accessory to my vehicle. I'm going to take my time installing it here because I definitely don't want to mess that up.
No,
but I'm excited for it.
That's cool. That's cool. So the supercharger is coming soon. We'll definitely talk about that once you get it installed, and we can talk about how it performs and everything. So that's fantastic. So today we're going to talk over a little bit about, again, the tools that you have purchased, that I've purchased, and you'll help me fill in the gaps of things that might be missing from that you think are just like, you got to have this if you're going out, that I might not already have. So let's start with your tool list really quick. And I'll try to take this and post it into the description after the live stream's done. But you have a pretty nice set of tools that you have, and the price here at the bottom isn't so bad. $314. I can just crank that up a little bit. So for 27 items basically, that's not so bad. So a lot of stuff from Harbor Freight looks like, and then you got a Carhartt tool roll from Amazon.
Yes, my opinion is a lot of these tool they're going to be kind of a worst case scenario thing. You're not working out of them every day. So you don't need the highest quality tools that you can possibly find. I mean, these are to get you out of a pinch. So Harbor Freight, awesome resource for that. A lot of these tools I've used myself, and they're of surprisingly good quality. Most of these I've never even broken. And a lot of these have a lifetime warranty so that if you do break them, they'll replace them.
Yeah, it's a great store. Like just found it myself recently, and I was like, okay, this is pretty amazing. I could come here a lot. So that's your kit in terms of what's prices and links. And again, I'll put those in the description at the end. But why don't you just walk through a little bit of your setup, and we'll talk about that here.
Yeah. So I have you pause it kind of right at fluids.
Yeah.
So for me, I have an older vehicle. So for me, it's more practical to have all the fluids that I might need. In my case, the transmission fluid does both the transmission and the power steering. Brake fluid, always good to have in a pickle. Oil, great as well. And then a little bit of coolant and a little bit of differential oil that works in all three: the transfer case, the front diff, and the rear diff. You know, you fill all of them, but just to get you back to safety, get you back to cell service in a lot of situations.
Nice.
Yeah. You'll see a brake caliper tool down there too. That's more on my end, you know, if I ever have a brake stick. The heat shrink that you'll see there, always great for those small electrical little problems. Roll of electrical tape will get you out of those. And you'll see behind that some of those socket adapters. Those are on my list as well. Basically everything on that list I actually own, I've actually used, and they've been great. And you'll see far off on the right there, a little assortment of nuts and bolts. You never know. And hose clamps for radiator hoses, stuff like that. You just never know. Now, granted, because I have an older vehicle, a lot of my stuff is overkill. And those are common sizes that from taking apart my vehicle. I just know that I need.
You know them all.
Right? The big thing here is the sockets. And I'm a big believer in having shallow and deep sockets of all the different sizes, because there's always tight quarters, especially in a lot of these modern vehicles, you know, and it's good to have most sizes as well. You know, the list, that's where these sockets came from. The one thing I won't recommend is the rails that I have them mounted to. When they're in my drawer in the back of my truck, they kind of rattle off of that and make a big mess. So I don't know.
Yeah, that always seems like an interesting one of like what you should choose to store all the stuff, right? Like that's the hard part. I know, like, I have those same things. So this is one where I think this is where we're finally seeing some of the same things. So I've got the shallow set. I chose Quinn in this case from Harbor Freight, and they're really well marked, which is the part that I liked. So it's really easy to see what size they are, and also got the deeps. So there we go.
Fantastic.
We're in a match there, so that's good.
Yes.
All right.
You got the nice ones.
Well, they were on sale.
So as you'll see,
yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Those 20% off coupons too.
Yeah,
so as it kind of pans out here from all the sockets that I have in both the 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch, I have this roll right here. This is the original kit that came with my vehicle back in 1999. So I figured I'd leave it with it. Toyota decided that these were important to have. So I'm going to decide that these are important to have. Those big sockets that I have, those are very specific to my vehicle. Most people don't have to worry about that.
Right. Nice.
But a lot of this is your tire
little heritage
stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And having things like zip ties, duct tape, stuff like that to patch things together, never a bad idea. And you'll see I have multiple hammers here. And before we got started,
zip ties. Yeah.
Ben was asking me if I could only have one hammer, what would it be? And in the case of an off-road mishap, I think the one that I would choose is the brass hammer. And one of the big advantages about brass hammers is that if you hit something steel, it's not going to dent, mark up or mar that, because the brass is the soft. You can still pound a nail in, you can still send a bolt home, but it's going to be a little bit gentler on a lot of your parts.
Nice. Yeah, that's something I haven't gotten yet, but I'm definitely thinking that's an item I need to pick up still. I mean, I have a claw hammer, so I could take that along, but I think a ball peen hammer would probably be better for sure.
Yes. And if you'll notice that the pliers on the far left, also
I was going to just talk about that.
To have.
And we have one of those. It's in California. Misty's bringing it back with her from California. So that's definitely something I'm going to put in there. I have this one. I've had this one for 25 years or something like that. I don't know. Similar, not as nice as that, but we have a nicer one that we picked up in California. And then I was thinking about getting one of those. I think it's Knipex ones or whatever. Like maybe.
Yes, I have the on-brand Knipex. I think it's Knipex, Knipex. I don't know how you say it.
Whatever.
But
Yeah,
I have a few of those in my normal toolkit, and
Sure.
the Harbor Freight ones come very, very close, and they serve the purpose of just about every pliers that you could possibly need.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah. Now the tool roll here. This is where these I think are the must-have. And you'll see all my combination wrenches in there. I think those do a lot of things that sockets can't do, just in tight quarters. And you'll see I have all my adapters here to kind of switch to different sizes. And that black piece that I held up there, that's an adapter to be able to use a combination wrench on a socket. Very handy. Very, very handy.
That's cool.
Yep. And I happen to have a flint in mine as well. I think it's good to have a waterproof way to start a fire.
Yep.
So I have a set of screwdrivers. The wrenches that I have, or the socket wrenches, those came with those kits that are in my list. Scraper for scraping gaskets, a pry bar for prying, and a few picks. And also, you'll see that brass, that I should probably have in my glove box in case a window, or in case of a water accident, those will shatter a window.
Right.
Yep.
So let's see. What do I have? So I picked up this Wear a Tool Check automotive, and this, basically gives a nice little tiny ratchet that can turn into a screwdriver essentially, and it comes with quite a few of the bits you would need as well. Let's see, this thing always gets me the fold-out piece, but quite a few of the bits, including some of the security bits, and then it has up to the 13 millimeter metric basic socket, so I can do sockets with that too, which is cool. So this is a nice small one that I keep. That will be in my tool roll when I get the tool roll. What else?
Well, that's a must, because 80% of what you have is 10 and 12 millimeter bolts.
Yep. Breaker bar. Then I've got my adapters to adapt, from 1/2 inch to 3/8 to quarter. And then I picked up this ratchet set, which has the kind of cricket, the cricket ends here on that side, and then the other side there. So ratcheting combo wrench set from Pittsburgh. Let's see. I've got this is a gear wrench ratchet, and this thing is actually pretty nice. Like this I got off on Amazon, and pretty impressed with it. I was gonna maybe go with the Harbor Freight ones, but this got pretty good reviews. I think it was on Project Farm at one point too, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. This is the 84 tooth. I think he tested the 90 tooth one, but it's good enough. Pretty happy with that. This I just got yesterday, so this will allow me to take my 3/8 inch, and I can actually use that with bits. So I could just put it whatever size bit I want in here for something a little bit bigger. So this is nice for the rack system, because those all have like hex bits or security hexes, and this will make it a little bit easier than just using an Allen wrench.
Absolutely.
And what were you gonna say?
Absolutely. I think you're off to a fantastic start here.
I got the hex Allen wrench set if I need that. I got an extra security bit set because I've got things that have security bits on them.
And the more modern you go with vehicles, the more often you'll see those.
Yep. And then this is also a 3/8 and 1/4 inch set that has, these are all security bits too, that just will attach right to the end of the ratchet, which is nice too. So that was nice for putting on the rack. And then I do have, I had originally got a set of Tecton wrenches from Amazon, of the torque wrenches, in 1/4, 3/8 and 1/2. But I didn't like them very much, and I actually rounded off a bunch of the security bolts in my on the rack. So I'm going to have somebody help me take those out because I don't have the tools to do that. And that was because I messed up with that one and was doing foot pounds instead of Newton meters, and I over torqued them. So for somebody who's a digital kind of person, this is the way I decided to go. I don't know that I will take this with me, but this is great for at home when I get back. Make sure, like if something's change a tire, then make sure that I've got it set to the right torque settings.
Believe it or not, if you are taking a longer trip, torque wrench with me. Long trips, especially with aftermarket wheels and tires, you definitely want to check those torques every couple 100 miles.
Yeah,
especially on the wheel lugs.
So, and that's not too big to bring along either. So I've got that, but I'll put some batteries in it. So that's kind of the tool end of things, basically. And then I showed you that, that's the tool. And then I also have the tire repair kit. So,
yep.
So that's
in my video here,
pliers in it too. So, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, you actually have a lot of the things that are on my list, but we're not in my little video here. That tire repair kit of utmost importance, and that breaker bar as well. That'll get you out of a lot of situations here.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. So what am I missing? What am I missing from just a tool standpoint?
I think something to cut with. I think that's really, really important to have. So that diagonal side cutters, I think that's very, very important to have for cutting wires, for cutting small fasteners, anything like that. Things that get in the way, accidents happen, and being able to cut things to get yourself back home, probably helpful.
I have that, actually, but I don't know where it is. I swear I brought it in here.
Oh, see, there we go.
Got it.
He's prepared. Ben, honestly, I think you're off to a fantastic start here.
Yeah, I think
you have the advantage of a modern vehicle too.
That is true. So yeah, that's good. I mean, I was hoping Bryan was going to be able to join. By the way, I didn't mention this in the beginning, but Bryan is kind of under the weather. He got pretty sick a couple of days ago, and he's just really coughing a lot. He's like, all I do is cough the whole entire time. So maybe he's watching. Hopefully he's watching. But yeah, so that's why he's not on. But it would be great to have you back again, and let's walk through his tool setup and see what he might. I mean, he'll know from this, but it'll be be interesting to see what you think about that for sure.
Absolutely, because I'm getting ideas from you, especially with your tire inflation system. And we were talking about this earlier, but the one thing I want to bring up is, you with all these tools and taking apart your entire vehicle or anything like that. A lot of these things are nice to have on hand, even if you don't know how to use them, because someone else might who finds you and wants to help you and is being gracious enough like that. And you can get you out of a pinch, even if you're not sure how to use it.
Most people I've met on the trail have been super nice. So like nobody likes to see anybody get stuck. So if they can help you out, they will. And like I would help people out as much as I could with whatever knowledge I carry. And the more you do that kind of thing, the more you can help people out. So
exactly. We want everybody to get home.
Exactly. Let's see. What else? I have work gloves. This is like about a 3-pack. So these are brand new, but I have other ones that are not brand new, but these were just laying around. So I thought they'd put them out. It's not like I've never worn gloves before or anything. Then I've got.
Do you have a jack? Do you have a jack that you take with
the
you?
Tacoma has a bottle jack that it came with. I don't know I don't know if it's what tonnage it is. I'll have to take a look at it, but it came with a bottle jack, and that's definitely something. If I'm going to upgrade, it would be a bottle jack. I'm not going to do a high lift jack. I don't really want to even deal with one of those. And a bottle jack, I think, will be more versatile. So,
yeah, I think it's important to point out a lot of people think they have a jack when they have their factory tires on, but as soon as you put a bigger set of tires on, you need a jack that gets you a little bit taller. So, if you have put oversized tires on, certainly worthwhile to make sure you can lift your car up.
Yep.
You can't change a flat if you can't lift it up.
That's true. And thankfully I stuck with the same size tires, so that's at least nice. But it did have a bottle jack in it. So that's nice.
Excellent.
Yep, that is definitely one. Yeah. Then in terms of like not just tools, but they're tools for other reasons, because if you're stuck, you're also not going anywhere. I've got a set of Rhino traction boards. So I think those are going to end up getting mounted on the outside, but it does come in a nice carrying case, which is pretty good. And these are less expensive than like the Max Trax brand and that kind of thing. I don't know if they'll perform as well or not, but they're better than nothing. So that's kind of where I'm starting.
Absolutely.
Also, with Rhino, I've got a recovery rope here. So this is one of the stretchy recovery ropes, and a couple of whatever they're called. It's failing me now. These guys.
Yep, the soft shackles.
Soft shackles. That's what it is.
Yep.
So, yep. So we got that as well.
That's next on my list.
Yep. And then, this is the other thing too, like inflating and deflating. I actually want to talk through this a little bit. So this is what I have had for quite a while, and what I've carried in my vehicle. So when I have the Tesla, especially, you don't get an extra tire. Like you have to fix it on. Like, but there isn't. It's just a tire repair kit. So when I was traveling back and forth between Colorado and California, I wanted something, so I picked this up, and this runs off of DC power or AC power, and it can also inflate, other things. So that's kind of nice. We've used it to inflate some of our air mattress and stuff like that. And this works pretty well. It's fine, but it definitely is not something that. This is like an in a pinch kind of deal, right? It's not something like if you have to air up and down 3 times in a day, this is going to wear out pretty quickly, and
it's
just
just
break
not gonna
down.
make it.
No. So basically, I was looking around, and I was looking at the Morphlate system originally, but then I found this Thor's Lightning company. They are based in Colorado, and this is the 4-tire inflation deflation kit. That works really well. So this is going to be pretty nice to not only for me, but for other people who are traveling with me to be able to air up and air down. And then this is the heavy part here. This is probably the heaviest accessory I have, and this is their Thor's Lightning air compressor. So just do a quick unzipping there. And the nice thing about this one, again, a little less expensive than the Morphlate company. Not that I'm saying that Morphlate's bad, but this one is digital as well. So you can basically set it and forget it, whatever you want to set it to. And after I had deflated my tires, so this is something that's not in the video, but after I had deflated them, I had deflated them a little bit too far because it was not too long after I had driven it, so I hadn't sat long enough. I ended up a little bit lower than I wanted to be, and I hooked up I just didn't record it, but I hooked up the system, and I think it was under a minute. I had them all inflated back up to where I wanted, and I was like, okay. It literally took longer to set it all up than it did to inflate the tires. So it's a pretty cool system, for sure.
You were still at a huge advantage to me. I just have the single air hose, and it takes 15 to 20 minutes easily to air up or air down. So
it's an advantage of being able to start later, right? Because new stuff comes out.
Absolutely.
And the price of those things is not too bad. Like you look at an ARB compressor, and they're $900. And I'm not saying they're bad, but holy moly, it's crazy. And this was, I think, I should look. Maybe I'll look it up. I should quote what the actual price is. I do have links in the description for these things too, but let's see here what these are. It's funny how times have changed. Let's go back to
and the portability is a huge advantage as well.
Yeah. So let's see. They look at the compressors. So they've got their just dual. So this one comes with everything you need, but you have to watch, while you're filling it. In this case, that's $200. It's the same compressor though. And then if you go up to the total control, which is the one I have with that'll just you set it and forget it, $289. And
I think that's
quite a bit
worthwhile.
less expensive. Yeah, 100%.
Yes, that's worthwhile.
And then 4-tire hose kit, you can get two as well, and they have them in different sizes. Is another $200. So for $500, you can get all that versus the ARB, which was another $400 more expensive.
Yeah, and I think I could use the 4-tire inflation kit compressor. I think that would be adaptable.
I think you can. Yeah, there might be like a one adapter you have to buy from them in order to make it work with it, but it tells you like what you need. Like there's accessories or whatever to do that. So anyway, that's pretty cool. I've really kind of liked really like that system so far. I'm excited to see how it works out in the field a little bit. But when we go on that overlanding trip in July, my the only inflation kit we'll have is mine. I think I might take the blue one just as a backup in case something just goes wrong. But it'll be interesting to see how fast it is to inflate and deflate 3 vehicles. That'll be a cool video.
Yeah, that'll be a good test for it too.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Anything else that we're missing or we should talk about in a toolkit?
Well, I hope the people in the comments let us know. I hope they let us know what we're forgetting, because I'm sure we're forgetting something. But
yes, so yeah,
again, it's vehicle specific for a lot of people. It's vehicle specific.
Yeah, and I think that's the important part too. Is like Toyota is basically all metric, so that's good to know, like notate. Whereas the so the Toyota is all metric, whereas like some of the other vehicles are going to be SAE too, so or a combination. So you might have to carry more different wrenches, ratchets, that kind of stuff, and sockets. So
exactly, and try to minimize the weight that you're carrying too. Don't carry around all those standard wrenches and sockets if you're never going to use them. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I'm trying to build the smallest kit I can. In fact, and then the tool roll wise, I'm actually going to be. I purchased from Thor's Lightning their tool roll. It just hasn't arrived yet, hasn't come yet. So I'm hoping we'll be able to get almost all of this stuff in a tool roll. I can go in the one and just keep it underneath the seats, basically, and pull it out whenever I need it. So it'll be good.
Yeah, that'd be exciting to see.
Cool. Well, yeah, let us know in the comments what we forgot or what are some items that you absolutely take with you no matter what. I'll be interested to check those out. And maybe when we do the Bryan episode of the tools, we can kind of go through what people left in the comments from this video as well. But yeah, for those who watched here, I super appreciate it. And Luke, I just so much appreciate you coming on and talking these things and like just kind of affirming what we're doing is right or not, so that we can feel more confident when we're on the trails.
Well, I appreciate you having me. This is an absolute blast every time.
It's always fun to talk to friendly people and just have a good conversation. So I appreciate you and the time that you've taken to do this as well.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
All right, well, that's it for today's episode. Remember to live your life in beta, and we'll see you next time. See you later.